Round Island. It says a new permanent light with a character of one red flash every 10 seconds came into operation on the 18th of September 1968, the flash lengths being reduced to 0.33 seconds. And then something written after that says light changed from red to white and exhibited a reduced power at 16:47 November the 4th, 1987. As from 21st of June 1968, the character of the siren fog signal has been altered to 4 blasts every 60 seconds. First entries November the 13th, 1887, visited this lighthouse from the alert last night at 4 and remained until today. The light was first exhibited at sunset, and the revolving machinery worked well and kept perfect time during the night. Mr. W. Douglas was present at the lighting up, and everything worked most satisfactorily. The keepers on the island were Mr. looks like Troth, Troth, principal, and T or J Blowey, Blowey, assistant. Left the island at 7:15 a.m. today for Penzance as Tregafu or whatever, superintendent again. December the 13th, same. Inspected the works in hand, consisting in internal, external and internal finishing of details. The work effected to be completed in a fortnight with the new erection of the dioptic illuminating apparatus and machinery. The erection of this being deferred until next spring. Found the temporary catoptric light working very satisfactorily. Douglas. It's an interesting one. May the 8th. Looks like 1889. Visited and inspected from the ready. Landed 1 dozen 10-wick cylinders and inquired into the cause of the accident on the 6th, when 2 cases of cylinders were smashed. The explanation given by the PKI or JW Troth, looks like TROTH, is that the claw failed to hold the burner on the wire stay, causing it to something other up. The cases coming in contact with the rocks were broken. Having given instructions to the keepers that in future cylinders and other light stores are to be unpacked on the land and carried up to the lighthouse. That's Reading. June the 6th, same year, visited and inspected from the ready. Landed 3 dozen 10-wick cylinders. Found the light apparatus in only fair condition. The revolving gear is not so clean as might be expected. AKG Thomas was in charge to thoroughly clean it. We instructed Thomas to thoroughly clean it. Reading again. Lovely bloke, him. Another one here, November the 12th, same year. There's something or a PK in charge been off. AK looks like Bloney or Blaney, Bloney, it looks like, from sick leave, and took away a super Blackman, it looks like, or Black Van. It looks like BLACK, that's the easy bit. Then a VAIN by the look of it, who is to do duty at the Bishop Rock during the winter months. This looks like July the 9th, 1890. It's a bit, weird, so it's to do with consumptions of the engines by the look of it. The rotating engine for 31 days is 478 hours and 24 minutes. Rotating per day, it's got 15 hours, 26 minutes. The caloric engines for 31 days is 137 hours and 5 minutes. Per day is 425. Consumption of coke for the 31 days, 2,400 weight and 12 pounds. Per day is, looks like 3 quarts and 7 pounds. 1891, June the 17th. Visited and inspected from the alert. Landed the repaired Davy boiler from Blackwall and other gear for Davy motors. Found all clean and in order. Reading. September the 25th, same year. Visited by relief boat from St Mary's. Found the 2 mechanics from Blackwall who had the starboard boiler ready for my examination. Found the firebox plating and winch tube very thin, it looks like, and leaking. Something or other unsafe for further use. January the 13th, 1893. Principal Keeper H. Nicholas reports that he is unable to bring or be in full power, brackets 20 weeks, with the present staff of keepers. Landed coke and firewood, Reading. It's the queer one. May the 16th, 1894. Visited and inspected from the alert. Found the station clean and in order. Tested adjustments of burners. Found them correct. Landed 50 casks of cement for new works. A Keeper J. Ellis in charge, signed Reading. August 17th, 1894. Principal Keeper J. Smith in charge. Landed a new Davy motor boiler, Reading. November the 14th, 1898. Hedges and frame of lantern door require cleaning, Reading. August the 25th, 1899. Inspected from the Mermaid. AKG T.O.H. Taylor, who had the morning watch, left the lantern in a very untidy state. On no account are newspapers and other articles to be left in the lens, Reading. Painting schedule. Says here, lantern externally and gallery, lantern internally. Pedestal of lens, lantern staircase. Service room is, says ladder and side of gratings. Pedestal of lamps and skirtings. Handrails of tower steps. Hair receivers. Kitchen is the walls of kitchen and pump. Ladder and ladder shed. All window sashes outside and flagstaff. Engine room walls, engines and boilers, doors, winch, and handrails and stanchions and crane. This is 1900, this is. And amongst all that they have to do whitewashing of the inside of tower, boundary walls, coal house, kitchen, oil tanks outside, winch house and engine house inside, water tanks and engine room tanks, signed by Reading again. May the 4th, 1901, it looks like. The new freshwater tanks at this station are to be cleaned out each year at the most convenient times, Reading. July the 7th, 1906. Arrived from Irene on annual inspection. As much in order as was possible during the alterations that have taken place in removing the Davy motors. New clock was started last night and on time in the Revolution's Day it was found correct. Mechanic plus 5 men at the station dismantling air receiver tanks. October the 15th, 1906. The oil book is not correctly kept and the oil something or other list has not been made up. Each one is to be fixed up daily. PK Plain, by the look of it, in charge. PLA and then a squiggle. July the 15th, 1909. Visited from Mermaid. On the relief, found all clean and good order. Landed 28 casks of paraffin. Foreman, painter and 6 men employed painting the station. Williams, superintendent. On May the 16th, 1914. A little bit about the fog trumpets and siren loft. Some men have been scraped and painted inside and outside. 4 coats, by the look of it, of red lead. They are left red for the visiting committee to inspect. October the 13th, 24. Oh, it just says tower to be lime washed in 1925. Oil tanks cleaned out. Main oil tank cleaned out. Station clean. Essentials in order. Reynolds, superintendent. June the 9th, 1925. Visited, inspected from Mermaid. Station clean and in order. Landed stores. Wireless DF apparatus, direction finding apparatus, has recently been installed at this station for experimental purposes by the Marconi Corporation. Mr. Whistlecraft, by the look of it, operator still at the station. Station is now due for line washing and contract placed with Mr. FLS of St. Mary's. Number 3 oil tank cleaned out on 7th for the 5th, 1925. Reynolds. March the 15th, 1926. 1 mason and 2 labourers working on station erecting new battery hut for permanent wireless plant. explosives, etc., and provisions, medicine chest, etc. A mechanic required some sort of bearings. Because standby crane was damaged on February the 6th. Same has been reported. March the 27th, 1928. Visited from Mermaid. Station clean and in good order. Lens keeping correct time and wireless fog signal on fine weather transmission. Book records to date. Internal painting in bad condition. Number 1 main oil tank cleaned out and in good condition. 12/11/27. 1938, June the 15th. Station is in efficient order but very congested with gear and additional staff as the alterations to radio beacon is in progress. The mechanic has completed repairs to lantern glazing and has instructions to fit the new ventilator cowl on siren turret. July the 11th, 1939. Checked light correct, reserve provisions in order and up to date. Rockets 1927 and 1930 stock to be replaced. The main wire hoist will need 2 new bottles on the setting up screws as they are getting worn. Particulars taken for attention. Jarrett, Superintendent. 30th of June 1942. Radio beacon instruments being well maintained. Radio telephone in excellent order. Camouflage painting of exterior, now 18 months old, is showing bad signs of weathering. It's McCarthy, Superintendent. This is 1947. New main hoist wire runner required as soon as convenient. Keepers instructed to grease down main wire in case of delay in fitting new wire. There's a loose circular from Trinity House dated the 5th of April 1951 in here to all chief superintendents and district superintendents. Has explained at the recent District Superintendents Conference, the Elder Brethren wished to improve the local knowledge of lightkeepers, and to this end proposed to supply, on indent, each lighthouse with appropriate large and small-scale charts, so that the station staff may have an intelligent appreciation of their responsibility under Section 7, page 67, paragraph 4 of the Lighthouse Service Regulations, which requires the signal letters JD to be flown in the event of any ship in view appearing to stand under danger. 2. As a further step, the Elder Brethren have arranged for a bearing arc to be painted around the wall of the lantern room, indicating compass points in relation to true north, and in this connection wish to have indicated on this arc navigational dangers to which the attention of the lightkeepers should specifically be drawn. Would you please, now for number 3, would you please analyse each station in turn in your district and report the dangers which you consider should be marked on the new bearing arc when this is being painted? 4. Finally, the Elder Brethren would be glad if you would, during your visits to lighthouses, instruct the keepers in this aspect of their duties, so they may, when circumstances warrant it, act intelligently and with due appreciation of the mariner's position. This is signed for the Secretary. Trinity House received it on the 9th of April 51 at Penzance. So this is when they were making us redundant recently. We cited that we had to do lookouts and that, and they said we never had instructions to do that. Well, this circular says it all. May the 28th, 1950. Mechanic effecting repairs to the Crossley VOE6 engine. Dampness showing on the inside of tower, but will last until next contract painting. Kitchen lino should be renewed and a good piece of old lino used for covering top of the kitchen table, which is very bad. Slate sink still needs replacing. Goodman. February the 13th, 1952. Inspected station examined damage caused by December and January gales. All repairs are in hand, either by masons or by carpenters from St Mary's. All compass bearing plates in lantern are on magnetic bearings and are to be moved. Have marked true south on periphery. Goodman, Superintendent. January the 5th, 53. Contract painting completed in 52 and all good except carbide sludge, which is weathering off badly. Radio beacon batteries due for attention and arrangements have now been made for chloride battery representative to deal with them. Goodman, Superintendent. June 16th, 55. Kitchen and pantry to be repainted by keepers. Arrangements in hand for fitting new cooker in kitchen. New roofing required for fog signal turret. July the 23rd, 1958. Station fitted with television, 10th of July 1958, as presented by McDonald Trust Silly. 3860. Question to be raised as to the colour of the radio beacon mast and fog signal trumpets. New sunrise and sunset tables to be supplied. 8661. Work on new radio beacon is in full progress, and so extensive that a recommendation will be made to defer contract payment for a month or two. 3265. Following recent severe westerly gales, a new life buoy and repairs to shutters of the sounding room windows required. 25565. The station is in the throes of complete modification, with the engine room stripped and rebuilding, and mess to go with it. The tower and lantern is maintained to the highest standard, as well as the accommodation. Happily, the keepers and the mechanics from Blackwall get on extremely well together, and the station is a contented one despite the upheaval. David Tibbets. 21st of October 71. Mr. Ellis, new principal keeper at station. 30th of the 3rd, 74. New hoist and traveller wires fitted. 28th September 87. Keepers are endeavouring to clear the broken ground around the RB mast and level it for a garden. 26th of September 1983. Mr. Besweverick, keep PK in charge. 16th of May 87. Inspected station from local boat Black Swan from St Mary's whilst carrying out local lights inspections in the islands. Light and fog signal verified, also beacon. Secret letter sighted sealed. The keepers under Mr. Besweverick are maintaining the station to a high standard, despite the upheaval of the dwellings during the pre-modernisation period and the modifications taking place. That's signed by Catesby. 4th of November 87. See next day. On the 4th of November 1987, 9 days before the centenary of this light being exhibited, the character was changed from flash red 10 seconds to flash white 10 seconds. On 11th of March 1988, the main light commenced operating on a 24-hour-a-day basis. The siren fog signal was discontinued, and a nautaphone of the same character was brought into operation. That's signed the 15th of June 88. And on the same day, 15th of June 88, the last keeper was withdrawn from this station on the 31st of May, and the light and fog signal are remote controlled from the Lizard Lighthouse. Both verified correct on demand today. Although the basic functions have now become automated, there is still a lot of work to carry out before the station can be vacated by the civil, mechanical and electrical staff now in residence. It's Catesby.